Hi there, it's Rick Lomas from Indexicon.com, a link research tools certified expert. Today I was going to talk about metadata, about title tags, meta description, meta keywords, and all that. Now, Google said a while ago that they don't use those as ranking metrics, but I consider them to be part of the content of the page, and therefore, any relevance and stuff needs to be in there, and I think it's important, and it's certainly it's better to do something rather than nothing. So I would always suggest adding this metadata. Okay, now I was just going to pick out a random phrase. I'm just going to go like this one I did before: Watford gas plumber, right? So I'm not expecting too many brilliant sites here, but let's see who comes out top. Okay, you've got your page responses here. You've got the directories like Yale and Thomson Local, so I'll ignore those. Then you've got your local results, and then the first organic result you get is this guy here, Ian Foster. Now this site looks like it was made in, I don't know, 2000 I suppose, but using Firefox I can just right click and look at the page source. So he's obviously doing something right. So what he's doing right is he's got a title which is plumber, 24-hour call, washing machine. Okay, so he's got gas, plumber and Watford in there, which is good. So that's the phrase I was looking for. In the description, he's got this. It's not a very good description, but it says what he does. He's domestic appliance engineer. I don't think he probably quite understood what was going to happen here, because if you were to look at the actual Google result, you'll see that it's got this domestic appliance engineer, qualified plumber. It looks a bit crap because that obviously needs to be a capital D there, and you could make that so it actually sells. Well, maybe it's more like that one, I don't know, but as it is, that could be improved, and that is what you see in a Google result. Google won't always pull out the meta description, but more often than not it does, so it's important to get that correct. So what else can we see from that? Okay, so looking back at the content, I mean, it is quite a crude site, this one. I was looking for an H1 tag, but I can't see any. Let me just have a quick look. Control F, H1. Okay, he hasn't used an H1 tag in there. So H1 is usually a title, not a title tag, a kind of title in the content of the page sort of thing. So it would have made sense for him to have something like that being in an H1 tag, and that's something he could have done. Anyway, so let's have a look at his keywords. So the keywords he's got here is plumbing repairs, block sink, bath fitted, Watford. It looks like he's just kind of guessed those randomly. So let's see what we could do better. Right. So let's take his URL, and I'm going to go over to SEMrush, which is at the moment one of my favourite things. It is a paid service, and it's quite expensive, but if you go to Fiverr.com you can find people who let you have an account for 2 weeks for $5. So he's ranking for 5 keywords. So these are all like top organic keywords, like plumber, Watford, Watford plumber, plumber and Watford plumbing, Watford, Watford plumbing. Okay, they're all quite interesting. And then if I click this to look at the keywords, okay, so you can see that the highest volume was plumber, Watford. It's not a massive volume, but obviously he only needs a few jobs a week. He doesn't need a. Now here in SEMrush, what you can do here is look at this. Let's look at this phrase. So say he was going to go for the main page to be plumber in Watford or plumber Watford, then what he could do here is look at which ones of these related keywords applies to him and preferably pick out the ones with a higher volume. I don't know if he does space heating, but that might be a related key phrase. Certainly plumbers in Watford is, certainly Watford plumber, St Albans plumbers, plum base, I think that's a shop. If I was him, what I would do is I'd probably on the home page, I would in the meta key phrases, I'd probably pick out about 6 to 8 of these key phrases, if they're relevant to his business, you know, and you say I'll fit space heating or repair space heating, and you know, I'm one of the busiest plumbers in Watford, that sort of thing. And you know, even try and include some of these phrases, or just even say that he will also cover the surrounding area, including St Albans, Hemel Hempstead. That's the other thing about is when you put in your meta key phrases is as well. Say you might want to use plumbers Hearts. Now Google doesn't know necessarily that Hearts is an abbreviation for Hertfordshire, so you could have plumbers Hearts in your meta key phrases, but you could also have plumbers Hertfordshire in there, which doesn't have to appear on the page, but the fact that it's in your meta description means it's a good place to be. For example, if you were doing something like where your site was about personalised gifts and it was to a UK audience, then you're going to spell personalised with an S, but some people might spell it with a Z, the American spelling. So in that case you wouldn't want to put an American spelling on your page, but what you can do, you could put personalised gifts into the meta keywords, and nobody would see that, but Google would know that you're catering for people who might spell personalised in the American fashion. Okay, so going back to my personalised gifts idea, I've just chosen this one, personalised chocolate gifts. It's reasonably popular in the UK. It's not a massive search volume, but it'd be a good keyword to rank for if you were doing that kind of business. Related keywords like personalised gifts, M&M probably might not be relevant at all to the business. So what I would probably do is I'd just get a little notebook file, and I'd pick out the good ones. You know, I'd pick out, say, personalised chocolate gifts, which was our main key phrase. At the same time, I would probably also do what I was going to say by changing personalised to with a Z. You obviously want these separated by a comma. Personalised wedding gifts, that looks like a good one. In fact, I'll tell you what, I might just change personalised to just leave that on its own. Personalised chocolate. Okay, so you can see a lot more here. Now, I wonder, I think we should probably go for personalised gifts as well. I mean, that's got a huge search volume. It would be hard to rank for, but if you could, it would be great. So what we got? 1, 2, 3. Chocolate hampers, personalised sweets. Maybe chocolate gifts. That's pretty good. Chocolate gifts. I wouldn't ever suggest putting more than about 8 key phrases in your meta key phrase. It just looks like you're stuffing it. Personalised gifts for her. I don't know many ladies who don't like chocolate, so that's probably quite a good personalised gift. Okay, so that's what I'd probably probably used for the meta description keywords, and I would also try, and on that page I would probably try and throw a few of these words in, as I said, because personalised is just a different way of spelling personalised. I wouldn't necessarily put that on the page because it just looks like you're trying to stuff every keyword into your page, but it's certainly worth mentioning. Chocolate gifts, wedding gifts, personalised chocolate, personalised gifts. Yeah, you could probably fit most of these into the text on the page that you want to rank for personalised chocolate gifts. The key these days, since the Hummingbird update of Google in 2013, is that you don't necessarily have to put everything in the correct order. So if you've got a really clumsy phrase like personalised gifts for her, you can work a way around of having personalised gifts and the word her in a sentence, or at least on the page. And the idea being that, you know, Google needs to find the phrase and the kind of just generally see the relevant phrases that are on the page to understand what the page is about. So that would be your key phrase, your meta key phrases. The description, you've got 150 characters or so to play with to say something good. Like, okay, so I've just written this. It's not particularly good, and I'm not sure if it is 150 characters. It looks like about that. I just said personalised chocolate gifts will always be received with a smile. Here you can personalise your message and order your gifts online to be sent direct to the recipient. The idea being that if somebody sees that result in Google, even if it's not number 1, if it's number 3 or 4, and they say, oh, I can personalise my message online, get it sent straight to the recipient. You can probably make that sound a bit more attractive. It's not my forte. When someone sees your result in Google, you're trying to get the sale from them just seeing the description. That the goal at that point is to get them to click that result in Google. The other important things is on the page you have a space for a title tag. You've got about 70 characters to play with there, which is what Google displays. So you don't want to have it saying, you know, something else ... which is what Google does in the results. You know, it's better to keep it under 70 characters so that it will display exactly that. And it's good if it says, you know, what you want it to do. Personalised chocolate gifts from the name of your company. That would be in your title tag. So you'd see something like that in the source before that happens. Another important thing is an H1 tag, which is just a standard heading, and you don't want too many of these. Now, the H1 tag, in the olden days, what we used to do was we used to make the H1 tag match the title, which used to give quite a strong signal to Google. But that got overused, and now Google just sees it once, and if it sees it again as an H1, it just sort of ignores that. For the H1 tag, you can use this opportunity to use a slightly different key phrase than you've used in the title tag. Bear in mind, this is the one people see predominantly. So look at this site here. You've got Apple authorised Mac repairs in warranty and out of warranty. That's probably in an H1 tag. And then in the title tag, all you see is Apple authorised Mac rep. And that's all you see there. So you probably want your shorter key phrase to be in a title tag. Then the H1 tag, you can have something a bit longer. You know, that can be sent straight to straight to your friend for, I don't know, or even just, you know, online personal chocolate gifts for weddings, anniversaries, you know, birthdays. And that's kind of, they're some of the most important elements of the page, in particular the title, the H1 tag, having related key phrases in the meta key phrases, and the meta description. You want to have that so it also includes your main key phrase, and it's something that's going to help to get the click, you know, get actually get someone to go and click the actual result in Google. Okay, right, I hope that helps. This is Rick Lomas from Indexicon.com.